Okay, so here's another example of something that might be useful as we're going through our analysis exercise. So let's take a look, for example, we'll do a query. I'm going to create a new query, and we're going to look at the store visits. All right, and what we'll do is let's take a bunch of data here. Might as well take it from the visitor, the visit number through the transaction time. All right, if we pull this up and we run this, all right, what we'll show is pretty much the detail of the visit number, the register, membership number, all the of the 39,300 or 39,400. Yeah, 39,435 rows that are in this particular table. Okay. Now, one of the things that's interesting, so we've got a date. So we have the field we call transaction date here. All right. And one of the things that would be useful would be, if we knew which day of the week this was. All right. So obviously, as we look at our 39,000 rows here, we're kind of crawling through this. It's kind of scattered all over the place. All right. So what day did 127/2000 fall on? And if we knew that, then we could actually go back and do some analysis and say, okay, what day of the week? What's a busy day, or what's not a busy day? And be able to do planning around that. So there's a function that's built into, there's a bunch of functions that are built into Access, but there's one in particular that we're going to be interested in, something called Workday. All right, and what Workday lets us do is if we give it a date, it will give us a return code, which will show us what was the day of the week that was, with starting with Sunday as 1, Monday as 2, Tuesday is 3, so on and so forth. Okay. So the way this works is, let's go back. Let's adjust this query a little bit. So we'll go to our design view. And what I want to do here, I want to come down to the end. I'm going to put another field here. So we've got the transaction date, we've got the transaction time. All right. So the format of this workday is, I'll show this to you here. What it is, the format of this is you give a special whatever you want to call the column, right? The column's not in the table, all right, but we're just putting it in there. And what will happen is, the way that when we execute this, the way the function will work is, it'll add a column into our query result, which will execute something we call the weekday function. And so weekday is a function that's baked into Access, where if you give it a date, it will return the day of the week that day fell on. Okay. So the format of this would be, we can call this anything we want. We're just going to call it day of the week, but we could call it day, or anything. All right. Followed by a colon, space, and then the weekday command, which is weekday. All right. Now this is where it gets a little bit tricky. It has to put a paren. So we put a left paren, left bracket. Then what we're going to feed it is, we're going to feed it the transaction date. All right, because that's a date field. We'll feed it a transaction date. And then what we'll do at the end is, at the end we'll close it with a square bracket, left paren or right paren. Okay. So let's execute this now and see what this gives us. Okay. All right, added that. Okay, so what we've done is, okay, we've executed it. We have our transaction date, which is 1/2/2000. The day of the week, the returning day of the week, it comes back and says it's a 1. So theoretically, this is a Sunday. And if I look at the calendar here and scroll back in time and see um, what January 1, 2000 look, what day of the week that was, it was indeed a Sunday. All right. So what we're able to do is by using that function, we can analyze the data, analyze the dates of all the transactions and identify what are the matching, what is the day of the week that date fell upon. All right. Now what we can do now is now that I have this data, I can go back and I can do um, we'll do a make table. We can do a make table query on this. And what I'm going to call it is day. I'll just call it like day. If I define the query, I execute the query. Just want to take all that data, that 39,435. Here's our day visit assignment. If I double click on it, I now have the day of the week out here. So now I can go back and I can analyze this. I can do summaries. I can come in and I can summarize the data. That's actually the table. So I can write a query that says give my valid day, my visit day assignment. Actually, I can say what day the visit occurred on, the day of the week. All right, and then I can do a group by, do our summaries. Let's just run this. We'll just run this query. Right. And now come back. Go back to our design view, and I'll put as totals. All right. And actually, we'll do, even though they're numbers, we'll do a group by, which will collapse the number. And actually, what I can do is I can put another field here. I'll call this counter, and I'll make this a count. All right. So what this will do is I'm going to put a count on this field, and what I'll do is it will give me a count of all of these entries. So let's see how this looks. Oh, sorry about that. It is not a make table query. It is a so group by count. And if I run this, oh, no, sorry. Let's take this out for now. We run this. This will tell us what day of the week every one of these visits occurred on. All right. If I take this out, say for example, if I take the visit number out, see if this will give us what we're looking for. Oh, no, all right. This will tell us what. So what I've done here is I've actually have summarized how many days of the week, um, what days of the week are in our visit table. So obviously we've had visitations on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So every day has got a visit, and you can go back and we can do some other stuff around this as well. So just, so the main thing is really what I want to demonstrate on this is really I get bogged down in the details, but it's really the utilization of this daytime function to analyze your date field and kind of assign it to what day of the week that is. Okay? So, and that is it.